views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
It's time to believe in your own body, mind, and soul. Thrive by Jen takes you through this next hour to help you release your full potential. Jen has been there when the going gets tough, and she's now here to guide you through your own difficulties and help you thrive too. Jennifer Zelop joins Dr. Pat Basile to provide you excellence in self-development and guidance. Sit back and enjoy because you're about to listen to Thrive by Jen. Now, here are your hosts.
Hi, I'm Jen Zellup.
And hey, I'm Dr. Pat. And you know what? We're here to introduce all of you, if you haven't heard about it before, Thrive by Jen Radio. I mean, this is exciting today, isn't it? Hence, let's say hi to all the folks that are kind of watching on Facebook. This is kind of a new deal, isn't it?
This is awesome. This is awesome. I love it.
So give me a sense for you when we're talking about Thrive by Jen. Let's start with this conversation. Today, we're going to be able to talk to folks about what the H in Thrive stands for, but give us a recap on Thrive, what it means, and what it's come to mean to you now. Fast forward to where we are today, back from when you and I first met, right?
Yeah.
Go.
Yes, it's true. It's true. Thrive is it's you creating your Thrive life. It's what makes you thrive. And every day we should live like that. And not that we don't have down moments, and it's not the perfect life is not promised us, but it's our Thrive life, and we have the tools to get through those rough moments. So there's a foundation. So the T is trust. The H is heart, which we'll talk about today. R is that resilience, those tough moments that we've gotten through. The I is intuition. V is values, and E is excellence. So by having a foundation, it's like an instruction manual. It's like a how-to. And it's, and when you have that instruction manual, you can go and create, you can go and live and thrive. And that's what I want for everybody. And that's, it's been a crazy roller coaster life of my own. And I wouldn't, I just was having this conversation, and you and I have had this conversation, Pat, where I wouldn't take back a moment. Because the moments that we've been through have built us to who we are today. And I'm a big believer in we're exactly where we need to be, so even in the valleys, we're supposed to be there. And in the peaks, we're supposed to be there. I just want everybody, when we're in our peaks, I just want everybody to enjoy them and savor those peaks. And then the valleys will get less. We'll have less and less.
Yeah, someone was telling me a story after she met with the Dalai Lama. And funny story about the Dalai Lama. The first time I was introduced to the phrase Dalai Lama, I thought it was an animal. And I don't think I'm alone. For all of my peeps watching the show today, okay, tell me the truth now. You too thought that was like an animal, right? Okay, because that's my upbringing. I didn't grow up sitting on a mountain in Tibet. Yeah. I grew up in the streets of New York. So you walk up to me and you say Dalai Lama. I'm like, I saw that in the Bronx Zoo once, right?
So true.
But fast forward to where we are today, and the story that was shared with me about this amazing individual was, an expression of, guess what? It's not good. It's not bad. It just is.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. And I literally just had a similar conversation with somebody last night about it's, right. There's that just is part, right? We can take it a little bit step further. It's not, right. It's not yin. It's not yang. It's right in the middle. And we've become this society now where it's extremes, and it's about just going back into that middle, and middle or just is good. It's not. It's a great place.
It is.
It's a
You
great
know,
place.
some people call it peace.
Yes.
Some people actually call that middle area like
Yeah.
peace. I had a coach once that said to me, Pat, your worst nightmare is if peace would actually break out in your life. And I thought, man, I don't know what you mean about
Yeah.
peace breakout. But what it means in context of what we're talking about today is that I'm able to be in my heart space. I'm able to be in my heart space, honor it, love it, stay with it, and allow it to show up fully and authentically. Isn't that what it means in when you talk about Thrive by Jen?
Absolutely. And to listen to it. That's one of the things that we talk about in um, in the instruction manual is ask yourself every minute of the day as you're going through the day, put your hand on your heart and ask your heart, are you happy? Is this making you happy? Is this, and I'm gonna give you something a little bit extreme here, because this is the running joke, right?
I
The
love
running joke.
extreme. I
The
love
ru- the-
extremes.
the running
I
joke
love
is-
extremes.
the running joke is, Jen, okay, how can I be happy doing laundry? And I'm like, fair enough. But let me take it a step further for you, because when you start to realize what the feeling that you get, right? Because when your heart is full, when you're doing something that makes you happy, your heart, you get that feeling. You can feel it resonating through your body. So let's just say, let's take a mom, for example, right? She's faced with 6 loads of laundry, and it's like the never ending cycle. But what's the flip side? The flip side is that there's nothing greater, right? When your kids go into their closet in the morning and they get to pick out all the clean clothes and they get to put their outfit together. There's not greater feeling that, you know what? You have laundry to do. There are people that, if that was their problem, boy, that'd be a great thing. So being in your heart just enables you to put things in perspective. It enables you to see others' perspectives. It enables you to, everything becomes minimized. The yucky stuff becomes minimized, and the beautiful stuff becomes maximized.
Yeah. Now, people are looking at this on Facebook. I don't even understand all the social media places. Thank goodness for Jessica, Alex, Justin, Christina, Linda, Kim, everybody. Thank goodness for those people, right?
I know.
Those are the team that allow me to show up. But people might be thinking, well, wait a minute, where is Jen? So you are not just someone that's created a model of coaching that's unprecedented, but you're also, a leader in the field of fitness, transformational work, mindset, nutrition. You've been involved in health and wellness for years.
Mm-hmm.
And so many people don't even know, well, wait a minute, is she in a gym? Where is she?
Yeah, this is my happy
Where are
space.
you? Tell people where you are.
This is my happy space. I have a really cool brick wall behind me.
I love it.
Yeah, this brick wall dates back to very, very early 1900s. And in this space right here is a small gym. So when we talk about our heart and being in a space that makes you happy, I have equipment around me right now. I have weights, I have dumbbells. But this is a big part of my life. This makes me happy. So and that's what I want people to do. I want people to surround themselves. If flowers make you happy, why isn't your home filled with flowers?
Yeah.
If
Linda, are you listening, Linda? See, she's giving me permission to get more plants. Did you see the plants in the background?
I love them.
It's like Linda's, please don't encourage her to get not one more plant or flower, right? But you're right about that.
Yes. I'm going to add, this is a great example. I love this example because kids, right? Kids live in their hearts, right? And for any of our listeners, how many times have your children or your grandchildren or nieces or nephews, right? It's time for a holiday and you go to the store and you get to pick out the party dress. You get to pick out the party suit. You get to pick out the party shoes. And as soon as you get home, Mom, can I wear them? Mom, can I wear them? Mom, can I wear them? Because they know how that's going to make them feel and they want it now.
Yeah.
How many people keep, who's out there? I was one of them. Who keeps the good dishes for guests?
Isn't that funny?
Right?
That is so funny you mentioned that, because we grew up with that crazy, right? And my friends who took care of me when I was really, really sick gave me a complete set of china. Like, I don't even know what china is. I thought, wait a minute, are they giving me a country? What are they giving me? Like a complete set of china? What is that? What do you do with that? Well, you eat with it.
Yeah, every day. Take out your good dishes. Like why are they hidden? Why is that beautiful dress hidden in the closet for the special event? Wear it out to the store.
Okay, let's create a challenge for everybody out there today, and then we're going to take a short break.
It.
When I come back, I'm going to show you what I absolutely love, what makes my heart sing. I'm going to bring it in front of the camera, and I'm going to show people. But let's create the challenge. Here's the challenge. No more paper plates for dinner. Okay? No more paper plates for dinner. Pull some kind of dish out, right?
Get the fancy glasses
Restrain yourself. Control yourself from the paper plates.
Yep.
And please, everybody do me a favor. Go down to the thrift store if you don't have silverware, because actually that's where I got mine from, and get silverware. What are we doing with that? We're helping we're ecologically contributing, as well as treating yourself to something special. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, throughout the show today, Jen is going to talk about what are the steps to open up our heart. Also, what is the heart's role in living and in thriving? Does it have a role? Is it just something that we have to watch in some love story on television? Or is it something that creates the pulse of our soul? Stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back.
He said, let's get out of this town, drive out of the city, away from the crowds. I thought heaven can't help me now, nothing lasts forever.
Interested in deepening your spiritual practice? The School for Esoteric Studies offers online training to spiritual seekers from all paths of life and individual coaching. Our courses synthesize Eastern and Western spiritual traditions based on meditation, study, and service applied to everyday life. To learn more about our courses and services, please visit www.esotericstudies.net.
Discover the healing medicine from the giant monkey tree frog Kambo. Kambo practitioner Ginny Rutherford and professional psychic Todd Rolson have come together for lively discussions of alternative healing medicines from the Amazon. Ginny and Todd bring you Kambo Talk Radio. Tune in each Monday at 1 p.m. Pacific to hear from guests all over the world with real life stories and the medicinal benefits of Kambo. For more information, visit KamboKiss.com.
Are you feeling stagnant or blocked in your love life, career, health, or finances? Experiencing difficulty focusing or setting and achieving goals? Tune in to Spiritual Diagnostics Radio with psychic visionary healers Carol Dorian and Suzanne Evans. Discover the cause and effect of unwanted patterns in life. Tune in every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio. For more information, visit spiritualdeed.com.
Is traditional medicine not working for you? Do you still feel as if your health isn't 100%? Here at the Holistic Medical Center, Dr. Nushin Darvish and the qualified staff look through the dimensions of wellness and start a healing plan prioritized to your needs. Our physicians assess the whole you until complete health is achieved. Get the help you need by visiting drdarvish.com or call 425-451-0404.
Do you feel that there's a bigger, better life for you? Is there anything holding you back from living the life you were meant to live? If you'd like to find your life's true purpose and calling, Join the world's foremost authority on primal spirituality, David Carshare, in Becoming a Sun Radio, emotional and spiritual intelligence for a happy, fulfilling life. Tune in once a month to Becoming a Sun Radio with David Carshare on The Dr. Pat Show and Transformation Talk Radio. For more information, visit davidcarshare.com today.
Are you ready for a game changer? Sarah Westall is bringing you Business Game Changers Radio. Sarah brings you leading experts, visionaries, and newsmakers who provide the best commentary on big issues and cutting-edge innovations. Sarah's 20 years as a business executive will help you think like an entrepreneur with expertise, energy, and attitude. Tune in to Business Game Changers Mondays at noon Pacific, 3 Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com.
He's so bad, but he does it so well. I can see the end as it begins. My one condition is say you'll remember me, standing in a nice dress, staring at the sunset, babe. Red lips and rosy cheeks. Say you'll see me again, even if it's just in your wildest dreams.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. I'm Dr. Pat, and Jen Zellup is in the house. This is Thrive by Jen. Jen, before we jump ahead and we get so immersed in talking about what opens our hearts, what is the best way for people to find out more about you?
They can visit the website, jenniferzellup.com, or shoot me an email. I'd love to chat with people at jenniferzellup@yahoo.com.
So, we're talking about the heart, which is the H in Thrive. And the question really is, what must we have, why must we have heart? Why is this important? Why is it part of thriving? Because a lot of us, maybe we've grown up with the idea of stuffing our feelings, not really feeling, being afraid to express joy, being afraid to express anger.
Yeah.
Or frustration. But heart has come to mean something very important to you.
Yeah, it's exactly what you said. It's our feelings. Like it puts us, it connects us. So it's important for us to not push down those feelings, to feel that pain, to feel that love, right? Because what we don't realize is that we're pushing down those feelings, but we're also denying our full capacity to feel the great stuff. So, let your heart explode with what makes it happy, but acknowledge it, during the day as you're walking around. Just notice, if the sun beams and all of a sudden it catches, right? Ever have that after a little bit of a couple of days of rain and you get that glimmer of sunshine and a big smile comes to your face? Like, soak that in. That's your heart. That's your feeling. That's coming alive. And a rainbow or flowers or walking in nature or having a conversation with an old friend, but be in it. Everything is rushed. Everything is go, go, go. You have a conversation with somebody, go to the next. Oh, look at the sun. It's out today. Yeah, go to the next. Just take a moment and lock in that feeling, because it helps us grow. Our heart gets bigger. It's like giving, right? I love our society. Our society is, I'm surrounded by so many givers.
Yeah.
But I want you to feel that giving, because that's going to fill you up. It should make you feel good, right? Everybody always says give without the expectation in return. And yes, but give and let the return be, it feels good. Let your heart explode from that, because all it does is you're going to give more. It expands your heart. Like, if you could picture your heart, I'll never forget reading a book, and it's somebody who I follow and I love dearly. And in the book, she talks about her daughter, her little girl, and the little girl loves water. And for the first time, she saw the beach and she saw the ocean, and she just screamed in delight. And she squeezed the sand and she let the water flow on her body. And the daughter said to her at night, "Mommy, I used to love you like a dot, but now I love you like a circle." And what that meant to me reading that was her heart just got bigger. Like she understood more love. She understood that good feeling. And that's what I'm, in Thrive. That's what Heart is about. Heart is about making it bigger. Doing for, especially in relationships, right? Relationships, I'll be transparent. Relationships for me personal relationships are tough. I work at them. And when I expand my heart, it's just my relationship with my significant other flows so much easier.
Yeah.
It just flows. And when it doesn't flow, I have to look at my heart. I have to look at what's, maybe I did something during the day that it didn't make my heart happy. And you know what? It carried over. It carried over for me for the rest of the day. And then I took it home.
Yeah.
And especially, right, when some of us are in vocations that we're not, it's not our favorite thing to do. Maybe we're doing something we haven't yet found our soul's purpose. So we're in a vocation that doesn't bring us as much joy as it could. We bring that home.
Yeah. Yeah, we can't separate it. I mean, there's actually a psychological theory that's called spillover effect. And the spillover effect is, let's say you're going to work and you're working for somebody that really is not like treating you well, borderline abusive, but even if not quite that, not treating you well. And you go through your day, if you choose to, going through your day really, really angry or upset or something like that. Or let's say one of your employees is just not doing what you think they should do, and you start to build up that resentment. Resentment is a killer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll tell you that what you're talking about is you're talking about a choice we have.
Exactly.
You and I have had lives that have given us many opportunities to practice this heart muscle a lot. Everything from suicide of my mom to being homeless, to job loss, to just it goes on and on and on, to a mystery illness for me. And I think those are moments in time where we can choose to open our hearts or shut them, right?
Absolutely. And just to give our audience an example,
like
it really is. It's, I can remember feeling so when my father committed suicide, I remember feeling so lost and so down and so defeated that I purposely would go somewhere and look for happy. So I would look and I would practice that heart muscle. I would squeeze my dog, or I would go outside in nature. And it doesn't mean that, look, I don't want to mislead anybody and say that it takes away. It didn't take away all the pain of what just happened in my life, but I knew that I needed to expand my heart. I needed it at that moment to be bigger for me, because I needed to get through what just happened. And I didn't want, my choice was not to be resentful. So I had to go out and these are the tools that we use. It's funny. There's this joke, right? Go hug a tree.
Yeah.
But being in nature, it sets gratitude. It sets peacefulness. And so in our moments like that, you're absolutely right. You make the choice. You make the choice to grow your heart. So if you're in that vocation, if you have that boss, or you have that coworker situation, just until you can figure out how to resolve the situation, grow your heart, look for the moments in that day, or call up your loved one and say, look, I need a little heart growing right now. Can you talk to me?
Right.
Or watch a funny, I'm notorious for pulling up I have like a bunch of comedians, and I'll pull them up on YouTube and I'll watch a 5-minute clip of a comedian, right? You can't help but laugh. And right there, you can feel your heart. You can feel it. Like, put your hand on your chest when you're laughing, and your heart, you can feel your heart.
Yeah. Someone, I was out the other day, and someone pulled up a yoga goat video where they're doing yoga in this field with these little goats. And so as they're doing the yoga, the goat is like climbing up on the woman's back. I mean, and what that says to me is, I mean, that is just one example. You know, you could tell when this woman is moving and clearly making some moves that I don't know about making. You could tell the peace of that. You could tell the heart opening. And so this very gentle, you know, this goat just came right up next to her and gently, literally climbed up on her back and just stood there. And I'm thinking that is a moment of one heart opening to another, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And sometimes we think that the things around us, Jen, are not affected by our behavior. I think we need to rethink that.
Absolutely. In fact, have you ever, right? I mean, our loved ones, even my kids will say to me, like, they'll be like, Mom, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm like, okay. Like, I don't even realize that I have a body language about me or an expression on my face. And they're like, are you okay? And I'm like, yep, I am. Okay. So then in that moment, maybe I was thinking about something or I was focused or serious.
Right.
But it's a great way for you to just check in, check in with your heart.
Right. And, you know, part of that checking in is getting involved or doing something, and especially service, you know, doing something that is going to help you open up your heart, especially if your heart has been shut because of a life event. You know, you talked about your dad. I talked about my mom. You know, these are events that affect us. And in fact, our heart may constrict. It may tighten up. When we come back, we're going to talk about things that literally help us open up our hearts. You're going to share yours, and I'm going to share mine. I'm actually going to show people what actually makes me smile.
Yes.
But the point is, this will change pretty much any event in our lives. This is the thing that is the game changer for us. Yep. But we have to get some help to learn how to do it. Mm-hmm. I know Absolutely. I do. Let's take a short break. When we come back, more with Jen. We're going to give you lots of information about her, all of the above. I'm Dr. Pat.
I'm Jen Zella.
We'll be right back.
Each morning I get out my diary. Can barely stand on my feet. Take a look at yourself in the mirror and cry. Lord, what you did to me.
Do you ever feel as if you're working twice as hard but only getting half as far? Are you trying to connect with your path in life and finding it elusive? Mainstream Metaphysics Radio is a weekly call-in show where we harness our connection with the universe and use what is in our power to affect change for optimal success and happiness. This hit show bridges the divide between what is and what we do not know. Eve, named one of the country's top psychics, also known as the MBA Psychic, invites you on this journey for this live call-in show with readings, featured guests, leaders, and visionaries in both business and spiritual callings. So join Eve Thursdays at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com as she takes metaphysics mainstream. For more information about Eve, visit EliteTarot.com. That's EliteTarot.com.
Awareness is universal. Establishing a living awareness through meditation brings peaceful, healthy, and creative well-being into your everyday life. The practice of living awareness, Spiritfire's own meditation practice, is built on this belief and is designed for every level of practitioner. Each year, Spiritfire hosts living awareness meditation retreats that allow you to explore the practice in depth at our retreat center in beautiful Western Massachusetts. Introduce yourself to meditation and the practice at the Foundation's retreat. Attend, in silence, a silent meditation retreat focused on mindfulness, presence, and nature, or be engaged with the meditation sittings themselves at the Deepening Retreat. Start adding to your awareness and attend a meditation retreat designed to cultivate consciousness in your everyday life. For details on attending a Living Awareness meditation retreat, visit upcoming events at www.spiritfire.com.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show, talk radio to thrive by. I am so thrilled to be talking to all of you. We have got talk radio for all of us. Are you ready and willing and able to accept all of the abundance you can muster up in your life? Check us out, thedrpatshow.com, transformationtalkradio.com, transformationradio.fm. Oh my goodness.
Be you plus live your purpose equals joy. That's the motto of Unstuck Joy with Vicki Todd. Vicki believes you were born with gifts that are meant to make the world brighter. Each show will feature an art visioning journal prompt to help you create your way to soul clarity. If you're ready to get unstuck and create more joy, this show is for you. Tune in every month on Transformation Talk Radio. For more information, visit VickiWorldArt.com.
But I just can't get no relief, Lord. Somebody, ooh, somebody. Can anybody find me somebody to love?
Hey, everybody. Welcome back. I'm Dr. Pat. I'm joined with my co-host today.
Hey, Jen Zellup. How are you?
Cool. So, Jen, you just changed the picture a little bit.
I did. I changed around.
I was saying to folks, you're in your gym, right?
Yeah.
And so tell people about that, because this is something you love to do. And we're talking about what you love to do. And I'm going to show people what I love to do. I'm not going to literally show them, but I'm going to give them an example. But this is something that you love to do. This opens your heart, right?
Oh, it absolutely does. In fact, it's funny. We were just saying this morning, I was teaching class and we were talking about squats, and somebody said, nobody likes to do squats. And I was like, I like to do squats. So this is our studio, Rock Solid Training Studio here in Westchester County, New York. And it's I'm just looking around as I talk to you guys. It's a happy place for me. It's got our equipment, and we'll come in here about, on our downtime, and this is where we get our workouts in. And it's just great. It's just, working out for me it's a release. It's, it also, talk about opening your heart. There's a chemical reaction that happens when we work out, which just raises those endorphins, and it's a feel good. So something that I always say to people after a workout, when I'm training them, I say, lock in that feeling of accomplishment, because it's another, again, about opening your heart. We don't celebrate enough. We really don't. I learned a while ago about celebrating successes, and not only big ones. I want everybody to celebrate small successes. So, in our home, if the kids, if they have a great game, if they have a phenomenal, in their mind, it's a phenomenal goal, or it's a great conversation with a friend, or they got themselves out of a predicament. Same thing with us. If we kind of give ourselves a little tap on the shoulder, and we have an actual, a physical tap and a celebration. That's our way of saying good job, good job. Yeah. And you lock that in, and that grows. It expands your heart.
Yeah. It's funny that you and I have something physical, right? Mm-hmm. That opens up our hearts. Yeah. For me, it's hitting this little ball right here at about 80 to 100 miles an hour with these buddies right here. Right. Awesome. So for me, it's kind of like, where do I go then to have a moment where I am out there and time stops and I'm literally not engaged with my brain, mm-hmm. and I show up and I've got this, if I might say, I have two different paddles. One of them is my older new paddle right here, this guy right here. And this one I just got last week, which was custom made for me.
Very nice.
And people are like, what is she holding up? Is she talking about ping pong? Yep, absolutely. Because there's something that happens to me when that little white ball hits this really, really fast rubber and starts to spin at 60, 70, 80 miles an hour. I mean, it's just something like that.
Yeah.
Now, why did I change from the old one to this one? Because the old one is super fast, but it's a little heavy for me. And people might be thinking, what are you talking about? That thing looks like it's not heavy at all. But when you are in your flow, and this is what I'd like you to talk about, when we are in our flow, we know when things are not right. We know when things are heavy and things are light. Very much like the two rackets I just showed.
Yeah.
You know, even though I'm in my flow, I could tell that this racket that I bought about 8 months ago and I've been playing with, I wasn't playing my best, and it was hard and I could feel it. But it took me 8 months to make a decision. And you know what, Jen, I want you to talk about this because I didn't make a decision on my own. I walked in and this beautiful box, which is probably worth more than the racket, was sitting on a table. And I was looking at it and my friend King says to me, oh, that's a new racket. You need a new racket. So how do we help get in touch with when our heart is heavy? And how do we make a change about that?
You said it. You used the word the brain. And I just want to add to that. It's communication. So your body, your heart was telling you something and you weren't listening. It was communicating to you. It was telling you this feels heavy. But what we've programmed ourselves to do is we go up here and then we say to ourselves, what's the whole list? I'm losing my touch. I haven't practiced enough. I have to spend more time doing this. Or same thing with me. If I walk in and a weight that I've done before feels heavy, then, right away people want to jump on like, oh, like I could do this before. I can't do it now. What happened? Like, what's going on here? I got to spend more time in the gym. I have to do this. I have to do that. No, it's just communicating to you. It's communicating. So I take now what I've learned and what we show you in Thrive is, well, what's that saying? Oh, if I just take a moment and I get out of my head, which is my ego, and I go back into my heart, I can realize that, oh, you know what? I stayed up way past my bedtime last night. Of course, I'm not going to perform to the level that I maybe did last week. All right, no problem. I'm going to make a little bit of adjustment. And then we're going to rock this out. There's no beating up. There's no, our ego is so tricky. Our ego is I call it the would have, should have, I could have, I should have done this. I should have done this differently. I could have done this. And so our egos, one day, what's amazing about our ego is one day, right, you're a superstar. Like, right, you're like, you're it. You are.
Yeah.
And then the next day you're like, what were you thinking? You are no superstar. And our heart doesn't do that. Our heart takes the whole situation and it helps us communicate with us and communicate with our bodies about, like I am, like you can, doing this right now, it makes me happy. But lifting a heavy weight, I'm not happy about it right now because I'm tired. So let me adjust.
Yeah. Yeah. And, it's interesting you say that because let's talk about the stories we tell ourselves that will either open our heart or shut our heart. And you've named about 600 right there. One is I'm never going to be able to fill in the blank like I used to. I'm never going to be able to have the love like my first love. I'm never going to be able to have the job like the job I have. I'm never going to be able to lift the weight like I know that I could have when I was 20. I'm not, and we go on, and we may not say these out loud to anyone, but I will say I pretty much have said it. This paddle was an example of this.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I shared this the other day on air. I had the old paddle, And you know what, Jen, you're going to laugh at me because what do you lift? 20, 30, 50, like 100-pound weights, that thing right there, right? That's what you do. You get the big thing and you do. For me, I'm complaining about a paddle that may be about 10 grams or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Little bit heavy. I'm not talking about, wait a minute, I'm on a pump like 50 instead of 10. I'm
Right.
talking about a little bit of grams here. But here's the story I told myself. I really didn't want to believe it was the racket.
Yeah.
I told myself, my body's not in the best of shape. I went through that illness and I am never at this age going to play as well as I did when I was 24, New Jersey champion.
Yeah.
That crazy. And spirit, let's talk about that. Spirit shows up.
Yes.
I'm attracted to gold.
Yeah.
Can you see this thing?
Yeah.
Gold.
Yeah.
I'm attracted to gold.
Yeah.
So I see the gold. Spirit shows up. It didn't have any rubber on it. It was a piece of wood. And a gentleman walks by and says, yeah, Howard's selling that. A week later, I have a new racket.
Yeah.
And I'm playing better than I've ever played. What do we do to get our heart to win the battle that it gets into with our minds?
You have to, it's like right, our heart is a muscle, and I want you to treat it like a muscle. I want you to treat it and condition it and work it out. And by literally every day, just going through that simple exercise of, does this make my heart happy? And even when you're having a conversation, this for me was a great example. Judgment, gossip, complaining, like all that stuff, right? Like if you make a complaint, right? Complain about something, and then I want you to ask yourself, did that feel good? Did that make my heart feel good? There's virtually very few instances that's going to make your heart feel good. You might have a legitimate look if you've been, like if all of a sudden you were out at a restaurant and somebody, your waiter came and accidentally poured spaghetti all over yourself and you made a complaint, that's understandable. But you know what I mean in your everyday talk, right? Complaining about, the person in front of you didn't step on the gas fast enough. It was funny yesterday. Literally, the light changed in a split second, and the person behind me was jamming on the horn, and I was like, "Whoa!" And so, you can even like if right now for our listeners, just simply pretend to jam on a horn, and they're in their car and they jam on their horn, you can feel your body tense up.
Yeah.
So the same thing with judgment, complaining, you feel your body. You feel your body tense up, and that's what I want you to do. I want you to if you just take that split second, put your hand on your heart, or if you're in front of somebody and it's a little funky to put your hand on your heart, you can feel your body tense up. And you said it so great with that example of your paddle, right? It might have only been ounces at the end of the day, but you see and take those ounces now and put it into 5 complaints. Put it into 5 judgments. It feels like 30 pounds.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's what I love about what you were talking about, because the heart works the same way. The gentleman, Howard, who built the racket, he runs the center up in Everett. And, the place is jammed like 4 days a week or 3 days a week, all day Saturday jammed. And he took the time to work with me on working with the racket. And I entered the game skeptical. I mean, it was like, wait a minute, this little, a few ounces less thing with not even as fast rubber as the other one, that's going to change my game. And seriously, it changed my stroke drastically to the point of me having to learn how to use this tool in a different way. Yep. But I got to tell you, Jen, maybe you can talk about this. Let's skip the break. Even after he worked with me and coached me, it was so easy to regress back to my old stuff. And he's standing there and he's watching me, right? This is a room with like 5 tables, and there are like 4 people on each table, and somehow I can hear him from across the room, too far, you're reaching to, right?
Yes.
Wow. I wish I had
Absolutely.
him in my life. Like
It's
every minute.
so, when you were talking, I'm saying to myself, yes, because it's so easy to go back to, it's because it's that a fear of failure. It's that fear of failure, right? Because what if it's not the racket? What if what I'm thinking is true, right? What if I'm thinking is true? What if it wasn't the racket? What if I can't do this anymore? But it's taking failure out of it, breaking through that self-limiting belief, and it's self-limiting beliefs, breaking through that. I take people through that in our Thrive program. That's in the instruction manuals, how to break through your self-limiting beliefs. So getting rid of that, now all of a sudden you're going in and you're like, hey, this racket's a tool, and this just made my job better. This just made my job easier. This just made my skill easier. That's why I say to people, that's why I love exercise, and for everybody, because that standing in, looking at that weight and saying rather than saying I can't lift that, just try. I always say to people, I said it last night, I gave class a couple of nights ago, and this was the task. The task was we had to squat against the wall, and I wouldn't tell them how long we had to hold the squat, but I wanted to give them the example of what's failing. And I use that word lightly because I'm using it for description right now, because I don't believe in failure. What's failing is when you fall on the ground. That's when your legs have had enough. Standing up in the middle of it, nope, your legs could have kept going. Just fall on the ground, because what that does for you mentally is it shows you that you can get back up.
Right.
And that's what you went through with that paddle. It's amazing, right? It's amazing what that was for you.
It was not only amazing, but it was interesting. There was another gentleman there, and we stayed pretty late. I don't stay late generally, and we stayed pretty late. And then all of a sudden, what happens? This gentleman was there, and he was an old timer. Let's just say he's an old timer. When I say old timer, you're talking 85 plus, right?
Awesome.
And he walks up to me and he says, "Would you hit a few with me?" And I had to hold back, but because I held back, it doesn't mean I had to give up the quality of my stroke. Mm-hmm. And he said to me, "Let's try to get 50 of these back and forth." Right?
Yeah.
And I thought, in my brain, I'm thinking, okay, like, is he really going to be able to do it? So guess who couldn't keep the ball on the table? Guess who?
Yep.
Right here. And I realized that I stopped playing for joy.
Yeah.
And once I figured it out, it was so fun because I had to lighten up in order to achieve that result. Isn't that the metaphor of the heart, though?
Absolutely, because if in that minute you would have said to yourself, does this make me happy? What you could have opened up to is, yeah, come on, let's do this. Let's do 50. Come on, let's go in. But instead, right away, I'm sure if you took yourself back to that moment, your body language changed.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, your body language changed. It's like 50. Can this guy hang? Are we going to be able to do this? I already had to pull back. So right there, where are you? You're here.
Yeah.
You're here. And it took you out of here. So when we start, I always say for a great test is, are you in negative talk or are you in positive talk? So if you're saying like, let's go do this, come on.
Yeah.
Versus, can we do this, or can he do this? So you've switched from, now you're here. So right away, bring yourself back to here. Bring yourself back to your heart.
This is everything. This goes for everything in life. I know we're using a sports metaphor for those of you tuning in, but we're not just talking about sports, because we have to be able to open our hearts no matter what shows up in our lives. And I don't want folks to be misunderstanding what I'm saying here is I can cry with the best of them. You know, I'm Italian. I can cry with the best of them. But am I going to cry myself into a story of defeat?
That's right.
That's really the question that we're talking about here.
Absolutely. And I wish, you know, my next purpose that I'm expanding to is I think my plan is to compile a book of, you know, a book this big of everyone's stories, because I want to hear everyone's stories. You know, I said that we were sitting around a couple of weeks ago together, and I said, my new thing is going to be when I start to talk to people, just tell me your story. I want to hear it, because to me, that's so, right? That's so, if you can do it, that means I can do it. You just gave me hope.
Yeah.
You just gave me hope. If you can get through if you could get through this, that means I can get through this.
Yeah.
So yes. So share that story and stop and there's no defeat.
Well, you know, here's what I want to say about it. So often our mind will tell us that we don't really want something we want. And I love the word desire. I think desire is a sacred space. You know, we were given desire to express desire. It's different than attachment.
Yes.
And I think sometimes when we know, for example, that we belong with another person, let's say, we will come up with a million reasons why we're not together, or why that person is 1,000 miles away, or why we're not there for somebody when we could, or why we don't seek the job that we want, or why we don't go on vacation. I mean, the list goes on. How are you helping people? What do we want to share in these last minutes about how to help folks tap in to that heart center that's called desire?
Start every day from here on in. That's our call to action for our listeners is start small and walk around what makes you happy. And I want you to start keeping a list. I want you to write, but here's the key. I don't want you to write what doesn't make you happy. It's what makes you happy. And do me a favor and knock off the list right away. Family, spouses, significant others, take it off the list. We got to get down. You need to get deep. So I feel like sometimes granted, they make us happy, but sometimes I feel we have like a duty to put them on the list. Take them off the list, and what makes you happy? Start writing it down. And here's another, I'll give you a little tidbit that's in the instruction manual. Start this too. If I wasn't afraid, finish the sentence. And I want you to know.
I love that.
I want you to know that you don't have to follow through. Take that off the table. So if I wasn't afraid, and let your heart pour out. Yeah. If I wasn't afraid, and you don't have to, if I wasn't afraid, I'd move to Alaska. You don't have to buy a ticket tomorrow. I'm not asking you to buy the ticket, but just find out, does Alaska make you happy? Do you really want to go? Because if you really want to be there and you really want to go, then you have to look into that. And this is what the communication with our heart is. And I use Alaska as an example, but if I wasn't afraid.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
And we get
it's
to
so
fill
powerful.
in the blanks. I started this show 14 years ago, and the question that became a signature question for me was, what would you do if you knew you could not fail?
Yeah.
And that's been my life lesson, and that's still my life lesson. And I wish I could say that I answer that question in a way that gets me to where I want to go. I will tell you, at least, Jen, I'm more aware of it. Thank you for today. Let folks know how they can find out more about you, how they can work with you.
Sure. The website is jenniferzellup.com. And again, I would love to hear your stories. Actually, start sending me those stories so we can start compiling that book, because people need to hear from each other and hear those stories of hope. And my email is jenniferzellup@yahoo.com.
I love it. And we're not done yet. Jen and I will be back. We're going to be talking about the R in Thrive. So we'll make sure you get plenty of that. Thank you, Jen, for a fabulous conversation and all you do.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And I want to thank everybody for tuning us in, turning us on. And yeah, thank you for, the folks on Facebook. I mean, I told you last time, this is really new for us. And we're really excited about it. We got some really, really cool things planned for all of you that are watching. Thank you, Benny, for pushing all the right buttons. Thank you, Justin, for pushing all the right buttons. Thank you, Jessica, for the amazing images. We'll see you next time.
You've been listening to Thrive by Jen with Jennifer Zelop and Dr. Pat Basili. Join us monthly to train your body, mind, and soul to operate as one. Because when you thrive, you shine on all levels and you can accomplish anything. For more information on how to excel down to your deepest being, visit thrivebyjen.com and stay tuned for the newest Thrive by Jen on the Dr. Pat Show Network and Transformation Talk Radio.
The preceding audio was via a Skype call.